Fiber to fabric is what we are seeing right now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in last class, we saw finally about the two natural fiber that we get from the plants. I am from a starter. All right. So yeah, so we saw about jute and cotton. Okay. Now let's just like revise a little about jute. Okay, did we start with this lesson for you all?
No, ma'am, we should start this, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, got it, fine. Did you guys have a lesson similar to this name in 6th grade?
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Okay, can you tell me what did you learn in 6th grade? What is fiber? What is fabric? What did you learn? Can any of you all tell me?
Ma'am, but I did not have read about the fiber to fabric in 6th grade.
Okay, so only Varshit you have learned.
Yes, ma'am, I have learned it.
Can you tell me what did you learn?
Ma'am, I learned about ma'am, animal fibers, natural fibers, man-made fibers, and how our cotton and jute means quick
Okay,
and
all
etc.
right.
ma'am.
Okay, all right. So let's just go through the basics, okay? So whatever we're getting from the plant. Now, we have two categories of plants or fibers, basically two categories of cloth that we get. Okay, so we need cloth for every day, right? From blankets to our dresses to what else, for towels and everything. Okay, so we have different things that we use for cloth in our everyday life. So we are classifying the plants and the ones that we get from animals. Okay, so the ones that we get from plants and animals are known as natural fibers. Okay, you also have the silkworm. You know silkworm, right? From silkworm only you get the silk. Okay, whereas the fibers that you get from the human beings, the ones that we make, what we do, we put in we have so many bacteria that we can create now. We can like what else do? We add synthetic to it, we add coloring to it, chemicals to it. It's not naturally obtained. Okay, so basically the ones that is not obtained naturally or it is man-made are known as synthetic fibers. All right. So what is fiber and what is fabric? Let's know the basic differences. Okay. So fiber is anything that is raw material. It's basically the basic raw material. You know, charcoal. Charcoal, what happens to charcoal? It takes millions of years to grow and then it becomes anybody knows what it becomes? What does charcoal become? It becomes nobody knows what it becomes. What does charcoal become after it takes millions of years? Charcoal for millions of years, it is under the earth, it becomes diamond. All right. So the basic raw material for creating diamond is charcoal. Without charcoal, there can be no diamond. All right. So now in our body, we have flesh, we have skin, we have organs, we have a esophagus, a passage for food, passage for water, passage for air, and everything. But is our body, a human body, without a living cell? No. Only if cells, a cluster of cells are there, we human beings can survive. So this cell is the raw material again. So for basic things, we need certain things in order to get its outcome. Without this, you cannot have this. All right. Like that, the basic material for your cloth to be made, or your towel to be made, or your blankets of any cloth that is to be made, you need what is called as the fiber. So fiber is nothing but a very basic raw material. Okay. So first, let's discuss about how. So we're gonna see, since Anubhav hasn't like studied it in his before class, we're just gonna like simply brush up how you know silk is created first. Okay, now let's look at animal fiber first. So in animal fiber, I'm just focusing on silk. So know this, silk is an animal fiber. It's not obtained from plants. Okay, clearly know that. So first what you have is you have a moth. Do you know what a moth is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This moth, it lays hundreds of eggs. 500, 100, 200, 300. It lays lots of eggs. These eggs, what they do, they hatch and they become a larva. They're a baby caterpillar kind of thing. They're a larva. Or you can call it a silkworm. This silkworm is given, or it's fed with hundreds and hundreds and thousands of leaves. And these leaves are not ordinary leaves. They are called as mulberry leaves. Okay, for getting like very rich silk, you need to feed the silkworms with mulberry leaves. This process of making silk is actually a very, very sad story. Okay, so that's what you're going to see right now. So this larva is fed with hundreds, thousands of mulberry leaves. They just don't stop eating, okay, unless they become huge sized larva. They become almost the size of your hand palm. Okay, that big they become. They just feed on thousands of leaves. And once they have eaten enough, what they do is they start secreting threads. Okay, like what do you say? A single, you know what is a wool, right? Mom must be having it in her stitching cupboard or something. A single thread, you know how thin it is, right? So what they do with this help of, they secrete this thread and they sit inside this thread and they will weave the thread around them. Like this, they'll weave. This is called as a cocoon. And around maybe it'll take 2 weeks or something. This, once this, what happens inside the lava, which is inside here, inside you can see the lava here, right? It's inside. So the lava that's inside, what happens? It starts developing or growing. And what it does, it will break the cocoon, it will make a hole in the cocoon and it will fly out as a moth. Okay, now you might ask the process, where is the silk being made here? How is the silk being extracted? This is one part of the eggs. Okay, this is why do we need moths to grow, is because we need them to lay eggs. If we just get the silk from them, then how will we have the whole mother moth or father moth to lay the eggs. So what happens now? For example, if there are 100, for example, there are 1,000 eggs, for example. So separate it into 500 batch and this 500 batch. Okay, half of the eggs goes through this process. The other half of the egg, what happens? The same process it goes through, all the processes. It becomes a larva, it's fed on mulberry leaves, and then it builds a cocoon. And once it builds a cocoon, what happens in a big vessel? In a big vessel, all these cocoons are collected in hand. For humans, they are collected with the using of hand. But right now, there are a lot of machines and all, okay? And what happens? They're immersed in water and they are boiled. Why are they boiling? To kill the baby or kill the silkworm inside, because the cocoon is the silk. Once the babies or once the silkworm inside is killed, then the fleshy part, that is the silkworm inside, is removed, it is thrown away, and this silk, from this silk is obtained. This is the raw material, or it's called as the fiber, silk fiber. Just to get 1 kilometer of silk, just to get 1 kilometer of silk, you need to kill around 5,000 or more number of silkworm. That is why in today, silk is very, very costly, because you're killing thousands of silkworm. It's very difficult to obtain. All right. This silk fiber is then woven. It's made into, it's arranged, and your whatever color you need, whatever dress color you need, it is done, or it is what you say, you just spun, it is stitched, okay, into woolen balls, right? Thread balls, right? It's stitched into thread balls, or you must have seen this. You know what is a thread ball, right? You will have full threads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
This is called as a yarn. Note the keywords: yarn, silk fiber. Okay. Then you have all the stages, that is the moth, eggs, larva or silkworm, and it is fed with mulberry leaves, cocoon. Yeah, okay. So they spun into yarns, and once they are spun into yarns, they are stitched into your mom's beautiful saris, silk cloth, or anything. All right, this is the whole process of how silk is obtained from the silkworm. Did you guys have any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, except this
No,
is not
ma'am.
needed. This is all just basic, just for understanding. The remaining, maybe you all can copy. As I always tell you, I'm not going to check your notes, so just copy whatever you need. Okay, whatever is essential for you. Just copy it and let me know when you're done.
And completed.
Both of you?
Oh, ma'am, please wait.
ஒருத்த கலர் இது பண்ண பொம்மைமா பார்க்கல பொம்மை ஒருத்த கமெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காமா எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரி பொம்மை இல்லை எனக்கு மேல பூனை தான் இருக்கு ஐ ஹாவ் ஒன்லி கேட் நாட் பூச்சி தாழ் போட்டிருக்காமா Tell me when you're done, da. Thank you. Red color red color அடிச்சது வைக்கும்னு சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க
Ma'am, done.
Okay. So I hope you'll understood. I hope there's no doubt so far. All right. So this is how silk is being extracted from the silkworm. Okay, silk moth. All right. So now we're going to see how the cotton is being extracted, which is more of a plant fiber. All right. So cotton. So this cotton, there'll be a farm. Okay. And these farms, they grow what we say, they grow something like, it grows something like this. Okay, this is how it looks like. It's all closed, it's all pointed and closed, and it looks something like this. There's a stem and there's like hundreds of this. Okay, and what they develop, everything that a plant grows, most of the things, either they will turn into a flower or they will turn into a fruit. You know that, right? So here this cotton, it grows and grows into a fruit. Okay, and that this part, it becomes a fruit, and this fruit is called as the cotton boll, boll. Okay, that is the name of this fruit. It's almost the size of a lemon. It looks like almost like a lemon. It's a green color thing. Okay, it looks like a lemon only. All right, so this cotton boll is then, what happens, this closed portion, no, you can see, no, it will burst open. And when it bursts open, the fluffy part comes out. This cotton is first extracted. First thing, the cotton is extracted. Just the cotton is removed, and all the seeds are removed. And with the help of a hand, they are combed. Okay, you know, hair, you comb your hair. If your hair is like a bush or everything is knotted, you comb it to make it straight, right? Say like that. This is combed manually using your hand. So the removal of seed and combing is known as ginning. Ginning, known as ginning. Okay, so once all the ginning process is done and you have long fibers of cotton, these are fibers. These fibers are then spun. Spinning is done then. Okay, second process is spinning. So in olden days, you know, in Mahatma Gandhi and all, you know what he used, right? He used some instrument like these, which looks like a wheel. It's called as the charka. I hope you're aware of this name, charka. So this was used for spinning of the cotton thread. Okay, and after spinning, weaving takes place. So first is ginning, second is spinning, third is weaving. Weaving takes place where all your pretty clothes, cotton clothes, are woven. They are stitched. All right, this is how cotton is extracted from the cotton plant. Was this understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts?
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, if we have to extract a large amount of cotton, so then we will only extract the cotton from the cotton boll from hand only.
Yeah, you'll do it with hand only. See,
Okay,
the thing
ma'am.
is, do you know, have you gone to Kodaikanal or Ooty or anywhere?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen large tea plantations?
Yes, ma'am.
So there, do you have any robots or anybody to take the leaves from the tea leaves?
No, ma'am. Only humans.
Only humans do that, right? Because only humans
Yes,
can
ma'am.
do that. So there's nothing you can do. You have to, like, same like how you're picking up tea leaves, you have to manually pick up cotton bolls. All right.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is how cotton is extracted. So another natural fiber that you're going to see now is jute. Jute is basically the hard mat that you have, or sack, you know, hay sacks, or in rice sack, you know the hard material. When you buy rice from the shop, they give it to you in a sack, right? And which is very thick cloth material. Or even if you go and find, what I say, in certain places, they have shawls and all made up of jute, which is very thick. Okay, so these are very, what to say, they're not sensitive, they're not easy to tear. They are highly woven, thick materials of fibers. So this is also another plant fiber. We're going to see how it is obtained. So since here cotton is obtained from the fruit of the cotton, which is the cotton board. Here, jute is obtained from the stem of the the jute. Okay, so you have jute stems. Okay, so all these leaves are cut off. You have the stem, and these jute stems are immersed in water. Okay, all these stems are put in the water. Now, just imagine you're just taking a fruit, an apple or orange or anything. You're just putting it in a bowl of water, leaving it on your table, and you're just letting it be there for months. What happens to the fruit after months of putting it in water? Will the fruit be nice to eat after that?
No, ma'am.
What will happen
No,
to the
ma'am.
fruit? Why will it not be nice? What will happen to the fruit? It will become. Guys, I want you to answer. What will happen to the fruit? No matter if it's right or wrong, just tell me whatever you feel. Anubhav, come on, tell me. Anubhav. Harshit. Are you guys even there? I'm not going to the next part if you're not answering.
Ma'am,
Tell me.
some
Ma'am, the
white.
fruit becomes unripened.
It becomes what?
Ma'am, unripened.
Unripen. Unripen is not the exact word, but okay, good try. Yeah, you tell me, Vashi.
Ma'am, it will just become like some spongy, like very smooth.
Exactly. So it becomes spongy, means it is spoiled, right? That
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
word I want. So yeah, fungus starts growing on it. It'll become rotten. Okay, rotten is the word, not unripened. It's rotten. Okay. So what happens when you're immersing this in water for a long period of time? It'll become rotten. These rotten stems, from them, the fibers are extracted, and that is only jute. So jute is nothing but the rotten stem. That's it. Okay. And then it is woven into mats or whatever cloth you want to make with jute. With jute, it's a very simple process. It's not as complicated as silkworm or cotton. All right. So this is how you're getting your natural fibers. Okay, I hope jute was clear. Both you can note, if there's any doubt, you can ask me. Note jute and cotton down quickly.
Done, ma'am.
Tell me when both of y'all are done.
Please wait, ma'am.
Both of you are done?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So this is the basic fibers you need to know. Now we're going to see another type of fiber and from where you get it. So can you tell me, so other than cotton, other than, so I just give you examples of synthetic fibers. So you just note it down and I'm writing it itself. You have nylon. I'll write it down. 1 minute. Yeah. You have, write it down when I'm writing itself. Nylon. You have polyester. You have rayon. These three examples are enough. You have many other, okay? You have microfiber, you have acrylic fiber, you have polypropylene, you have so many names of synthetic fibers, human-made fibers, okay? But these three are most commonly used human-made fibers. You can just note it down. I hope you're done. Is it done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, fine. So now we're going to see about another form of fiber. Can you tell me what is the another other fibers that you use other than cotton and silk and everything?
Ma'am, synthetic fibers.
Okay, synthetic fibers you use. What else? What else haven't I talking about? What are the other clothes that you wear? What are the clothes that you wear in winter?
Ma'am, wool clothes.
Woolen cloths. Now we're going to see about how wool is extracted. All right, so I'll just name them. So you just saw about silk, so about cotton, so about jute. We're going to see about wool. All right. So you know from where the wool is obtained, right? Where is the wool obtained from?
Ma'am, sheep.
From the sheep. Sheep's which part of the body? Is it obtained from the leg or hand or head or what?
Ma'am, hair.
From the hair, exactly. So it's not exactly the hair. This, it is the hair only, but you don't call it hair, okay? So from the hair of the sheep is called as fleece. Okay, fleece is nothing but hair of the sheep. Okay, it can be a sheep or it can be a yak. Okay, I'll just show you the image of how it looks like. That is an image of a yak. It's more like a woolly cow. Okay, you must have seen these cute cows in movies and all, hairy cows. So this is a yak. All right, so we get this fleece from either a sheep or a yak. Okay, and we know that the silk fibers, they come from silk moth. And so wool and silk is the example you should write when I'm asking about animal fibers. And when I'm asking about plant fibers, you're supposed to write about cotton and jute. Okay, so wool comes from sheep, goat also, some hairy goat is there. So from the goat, from the yak, and some other animals also, few other animals also. Okay, so these wool or these wool yielding animals, or the animals from which we get the wool, they're animals, they bear hair on their body. So any of y'all know why only these animals have thick hair in their body? Why doesn't any other animal have? Why doesn't a normal cat have? Or why doesn't a normal Indian cow have? Or monkey have? Why is it only these animals that has a lot of hair in their body? Anybody knows?
Ma'am, because they grow in cold areas, ma'am.
Okay, that's another reason. Very good. Because they grow in cold areas. And okay, that is actually the only reason. It's one of the, it is because they grow in cold areas. Okay, why? Because if they grow in cold areas, they should have a lot of hair. Why should they have a lot of
Ma'am,
hair?
it keeps
Ma'am,
them warm.
Exactly, it keeps them warm, right? So when it keeps them warm means, why does a lot of hair keeps them warm? When you put a blanket, why is it keeping you warm? When you're wearing clothes, why is it keeping you warm? It's because you know your cloth is made up of these hairs only, these woven threads or woven fibers only. So when they all these fibers, when they cluster together or when they are grouped together, they trap air. Okay, so you know that wool is more thick than that of the cotton. The more the quantity, more the thickness, more the trapping of air. Okay, so they have lots of hair or fleece. All right, it's because what these hair do, trap high amount of air. Okay, so you know that, is air a good conditioner or a bad conductor of heat? Is hair a good conductor or bad conductor of heat? Have you guys heard the term good conductor, bad conductor?
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
What is it? So air is a good conductor or bad conductor? It's a bad conductor. Bad conductor of heat. Okay. Okay, now there is an intelligent question for y'all. Okay. Anybody who answers this will get a start. You will at least try. Okay. Always remember, not doing anything is more foolish than coming forward and trying. Okay, so just open your mouth and just try. Okay, be it right or wrong. So you know that, what is the meaning of conductor? Conductor means anything that allows the flow of, right? So if air is a bad conductor of heat, then why is it helping us stay warm? It should keep our body cold if it's a bad conductor of heat, right? Why is it keeping our body warm?
ma'am, because it is trapped when we wear that clothes, ma'am. Like,
Okay, that is fine. Now you know that the sheep and the yak, everything is in the cold region. So the wind that is blowing is cold, right? So air is a bad conductor of heat, but the air that is coming inside the cloth, it is cold air only. No, so air is not a bad conductor of cold. It's a good conductor of something cold. It's a bad conductor of something hot. So why is it keeping us warm if it is a bad conductor of heat? Is my
Ma'am,
I repeat?
ma'am, like, ma'am, the sun's rays are coming to the air. UV rays because of the.
Rays. Okay, that's brilliant actually, but that is not the answer. But wow, really, really appreciate it, because even I didn't think of something like that. But that's not the reason. But very good, Anubhav. Keep it up. Another reason can you have think of? Anything else? Varshit, you want to try?
no, ma'am, I'm not able to answer that.
Okay, all right. So what happens, why it is a bad conductor of heat and it keeps us warm, is any animal body, like be it normal animals that is roaming around or normal, and we are also animals, right? So any animal body, it has the power to emit heat. So normally if anybody touches our body is naturally warm. It's not cold, right? Why is it warm? Because in our body, cells keep working. Cells keep doing everything. Our heart is pumping blood. Our lungs are getting the air. Our food is traveling to our esophagus. My mouth is salivating when I'm talking to you all. My hand is moving. My eyes are moving. I'm thinking something. So it's continuously my body is doing something. It's not stopping even for a second. Even when you're sleeping, your heart is beating and you're breathing. So since the day you were born till now, your body hasn't stopped working, right? So what happens when you start a car and the car has run for so long? When you come and touch the front of the car, it is hot. Why? Because it has run, because the motor has run. So anything that works or anything that does like anything that requires energy or does any work or keeps running, it emits heat. So our body or any normal animal body, it emits heat. So when this, what happens now, and this is the blue part is the skin, for example, okay? This is the skin. And this is the wool. All right, this is the woolen cloth. Okay. Now all what happens is air is coming inside, and there's even what happens, this cold air, this cool air, when it goes inside this region, it becomes hot because our body is constantly emitting heat. Body is producing heat. So when heat is produced and this cold air, it becomes hot, the wool will start trapping the heat. It will become a bad conductor of heat. Bad conductor means will not allow the flow of heat outside. It will trap the heat and it will start making us feel warm. This is how wool works. This is how wool keeps our body hot, like warm. Okay, am I clear? Was it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your homework question will be, I don't want you to write the synthetic fibers that I have mentioned in class. I want you to find out two different other names, okay? These three are your homework questions. You can just note it down. Note the notes also down.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Tell me.
Ma'am, if we got the death in summer season, then only when we got the death, then only our body becomes cool. But in summer season, the weather is hot, so can our body becomes heated, means warm?
Definitely, it's not like our body will be cold in winter. We will feel cold because there is only some amount of heat our body can produce. Our body is not a heater, right? Our bodies can produce heat, but only to some extent. If you see any very thin person, if you put them in a room full of AC, and if you put a little fat person in a room full of AC, the fat person will not feel as much as cold as a thin person. Why? Because the fat person has a lot of fat in their body. What is fat and carbohydrates? They are energy producing nutrients. If energy is produced, heat is produced. So their body tends to produce a lot of heat. Okay. Whereas a thin person doesn't have much of heat being produced in their body. So when what happens every time, be it winter or be it summer or spring, there will be some amount of heat that is being produced in your body. But when the winter is, that is why you have degree Celsius, you know, right? Minus degree, -1, -2, or
Yes,
23
ma'am.
degrees. So yes, if it is 23 degrees or if it is 20 degrees, yeah, maybe your body can handle the cold. Maybe you won't feel that cold. This cold is enough to survive. It is sufficient enough. You can survive. But if it goes below to 12 or 11, your body's heat is not enough. In that case, you tend to use woolen clothes. Whereas in summer, your body is already hot. The sun is also hot. You won't be able to survive. You will be going in search for AC. You will be going in search for air, cold air. That is the time where all your electricity bills go up high. That is when you start putting AC the whole day in your house. In that time, what you use is cotton. Cotton cloths They do not trap air. Okay, they are not like the hair that you get from the animals. They are plant fibers. Okay, they are like what? They are actually good conductors of heat. They allow all the heat of your body to go out. And if a wind is being blown, you feel that rush of air, you feel the cold air inside your body. But if you wear you wear woolen clothes in summertime and wind is blowing, means you won't feel the cold. You won't even feel the air coming inside your body. You will still feel hot because it is a bad conductor. All right. This is your
Okay, ma'am.
answer to your question. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can just note it down. Tell me when you're done.
Done, ma'am.
What about you, Arshit?
1 minute. Ma'am. Completed, ma'am.
Okay. I hope today's class was understandable. We'll continue in next class. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.